Okay, welcome everybody back to Steve Talks Boxing X, STBX, where we talk real boxing with real boxing fans. And welcome to Roundup with Darren's September show. In the show, we are going to be looking at the past highlights of this month in boxing and briefly looking at the Nick Ball versus Ronny Rios fight this Saturday. And of course, joining me is Darren Aston. Thanks, Darren. Thanks for coming back on.
Cheers, Steve. Great to be on to talk about a brilliant month of boxing we've had for September.
It's been a big month. And in between videos, you informed me that you actually got Oasis tickets in the end. When we last video, I think you struggled to get Oasis. But my question to you, Darren, are you going to sell your Oasis tickets after Liam's performance at Wembley?
You know what? I'm not, but if you're interested, I'm open to offers.
There you go. So if you're after maybe Oasis tickets, give Darren a shout, maybe.
No, all jokes aside, I did see some of the backlash for Liam Gallagher's performance at Wembley Stadium. I'll be completely honest with you. From my experience in the stadium, at one point I thought he was miming because I thought
really,
I thought he sounded good. I mean, it's Liam Gallagher. For me, it was what I expected. I didn't think it was bad, but I have heard the backlash of people who watched it on television, and from what a couple of other people I spoke to who'd been in the stadium and comments I've seen on social media as well, they also said that they didn't think it was bad. I mean, obviously you thought it was, did you?
I think it weren't too bad. I'm going with you though. There was mixed reviews, wasn't there? Some people said it was awful. Some people it was good. To be honest, it was his birthday, and he came on, sang his songs, and then just buggered off. He just went. They said like hi, bye. He was like done it proper rock and roll.
That's Liam Gallagher for you, though. What we noticed that like he sort of like done his things, didn't even like waving. He just buggered off. Then
just
done
went.
his job.
1 minute he was there.
Check, off he goes.
Yeah, 1 minute he was there singing. Next minute, oh, he's gone now. That's it. Okay, that's over. Back to the boxing. But mixed reviews maybe. So, but maybe you're open to offers on the tickets then, perhaps.
No, I'm going to keep them.
You keep them. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I don't think it was too bad to be honest with you. Okay, moving on we're briefly going to talk about the Nick Ball fight this Saturday. It's a homecoming fight for Nick Ball. He's in Liverpool. What does that mean to Nick fighting back in Liverpool?
Well, obviously his last, I think it was his last two fights have been in Saudi, so he's been due his homecoming now. I mean, I don't believe his paycheck will be anything like he's been having lately.
No.
He's been on the Saudi show, so that's going to probably have a bit of an impact on him. But obviously, he'll have the Liverpool crowd behind him. I'm not sure. Is it sold out? I'm not quite sure.
I'm not 100%. Yeah,
he's got a decent following, Nick has. He's a nice fighter to watch. So yeah, I mean a lot to him. I presume he'll go on to more. I mean, he's sort of. I say he's going to go on to more big fights after this. He's due a sort of like what you'd class as a bit of an easier fight after his last two.
Yeah.
He's been in with the best in the division, some of the best in the division, and he deserves that homecoming and to have a bit of what you can call more of a sort of easier fight.
Yeah, it's more of a run out, if you ask me, sort of for him to keep him ticking over. He's coming off a great performance. You said the last couple of performances against Ford. Would you say Ball is coming towards like his peak of his performance? Can he get better?
Well, if you look at I think he's 21 fights in now. This is his 22nd fight. He's 27 years of age. Some people probably look at that and like think he's sort of like in his peak years. I think he can go on and get better. I mean, if you look at the Ray Var, I know Styles make fights, but if you look at the Vargas fight, I thought he was, I was expecting him to probably lose to Ray Ford, but he fought really, really well. So I'm expecting him. I think he can go on and be better than what he is now. Like I say, 27 years of age. I think he's got his best years ahead of him. Yeah,
so some more to come from Nick, you think?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And looking at that Vargas fight, I know you briefly touched on that. That SD draw, do you think that still hurts Nick?
Well, it was a shocker in my eyes. I thought Nick Ball won that fight. I thought it was the wrong decision. As boxers, you've got to get over the mishaps that happen, the controversial decisions. As the position like Nick Ball's in, he's had to get over it. And the way to look at it is, after what happened with that Ray Vargas fight, he then puts on an absolute brilliant display against Ray Ford. So he answered sort of people's questions with that. He left it behind him to move on and put on a good performance the way he did and win the Ray Ford fight. So no, he moved on from it well. I mean, obviously he peed him off at the time, but he moved on from that really well by putting his display on in the ring. He did in his next fight.
Yeah, and talking about common opponents, Rios has lost to Vargas. Admittedly, he was on the UD as well. So, how tough do you think Rios is going to be?
Well, obviously, Nick Ball being the homecoming, having the crowd behind him, he's going to be even more fired up because he's, like I say, his last few fights been in Saudi. He hasn't sort of had the crowd behind him like he will in Liverpool with his homecoming fight. So that'll fire him on even more. He's going to have to sustain a lot of pressure. I mean, a lot of Nick Ball's opponents have to sustain a lot of pressure because that's what he is. He's a nice fighter and he's a pressure fighter. He likes to sort of like go to the trenches with you, and he's very on the offense. He's very good with it. So I'm hoping, well, for the fans and us paying customers, we'll get to see a decent fight. I'm hoping we will.
Yeah, sure. Well, my next question was for you. How do you see the fight going, and who wins? Is that an obvious one?
Yeah, of course. I think Nick Ball will win the fight, but I'm not so sure he's going to get a stoppage victory. I think he could go the distance.
That's
you never know. My predictions haven't all been great lately.
You beat me on the beers and snacks one.
Fair play. I did. I'm not encouraging anyone to go out and back my prediction here or anything, or put any big bets on. But I think Rios could give us some. I think he could go the distance here with Nick Ball.
Okay.
If it doesn't go the distance, Nick Ball might take him out late, but I don't think this is no criticism of Nick Ball, but I think his knockout ratio is only about 52%, something like that. He's not the biggest puncher in the world, but he's very good on the offense, and he likes to get his shots together. But I don't think he's the biggest puncher. But he's a pressure fighter, and he's nice to watch.
He's not the tallest as well, neither.
No, he's definitely not. No, he's a little terror though in the ring, isn't he?
He is. Who would you like Nick? Assuming Nick wins, who would you like to go see him fight next?
Well, I to start with thought this fight might be someone like a Brandon Figueroa. I did think they might put him in, but after the fights he's had, like I said earlier, they've let him off and give him a bit of on paper, which is deemed an easier touch. So I wouldn't mind seeing like a Brandon Figueroa fight next. He's the interim champion. Yeah. But ultimately, I think the unification fight and having a rematch with Ray Vargas would be the. I mean, it wasn't sort of like a brilliant watch, but that's what I'd like for Nick Ball now to put that put that wrong right where he wasn't really. It was the judges' scorecards again. I would like him to. I'd like him to get that fight and beat Vargas more convincingly this time, rather than the judges scoring it a draw. Yeah,
I totally agree. And split decision draws, we don't get many of them, do we? So it was bizarre. Yeah, bizarre in that factor as well. But
the funny thing with it, I was going to say, sorry, Steve. The funny thing with him is, like, do you remember when we saw him in the ring together? He got little and large. It's quite funny, is it? I mean, Vargas, I don't know how tall he is, but compared to Nick Ball, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, like you said, he is a little terror. I think he always gives away height anyway as well. Looking at photos of Rios, I think Rios is a bit taller as well. I think what I've gathered this week. It's not too hard. Okay, no, that's great. Going back to obviously the monthly preview now. Who is your fighter of the month in September, Darren?
I think there can only be one man. The one man who totally put an absolute beating on Anthony Joshua, and that's Daniel Dubois.
This man here. Yep. And that is the finish.
the guy, right. I think me and you, we've spoke about this fight before. We always, I think me and you said, if Dubois can land first, Joshua could be in trouble. Yeah. It wasn't really just a case of that for me. He put an absolute beating on Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
people, including me, questioned before the fight, building up to the fight. What's going to happen if Dubois gets caught? What's going to happen? Is he going to be nervous getting into the ring? Nothing like that happened. He ripped up the script of what me and a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
And I've got massive, nothing but praise for him. And it was the best performance I've ever seen him. His jab was brilliant.
Yeah. Was you surprised as much as me that Dubois beat Joshua to the jab? I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, in all honesty. Yeah, and it was so quick. I think that's the key. He was so fast. And the thing for me as well in the fight is the way he just put it on Anthony Joshua. He wasn't fazed by anything. So he deserves a hell of a lot of credit and brilliant performance.
And obviously your fighter of the month. With regards to AJ, I'm going to throw this one at you. Do you think he's finished now? Is that the end of AJ? Have we seen the best?
I think it's going to be a hard road back because there's no more gimme fights. He literally goes in against Dubois for the rematch. Or I've seen talks about, wait until after December 21st. What happens with Tyson Fury? If he loses, could he go in with Fury? It's a hard. I've heard some people say and debate. I think Joshua's punch resistance has gone. It ain't gone for me. It's just the same as it's always been. He's never took a shot great for me. He can't handle fast hands. He doesn't like pressure fighters. And his recovery is so poor. His recovery is so poor.
Well, when I've noticed, when he gets hurt, he knows he's hurt and he's almost waiting to get knocked out. It seems that way every time.
His recovery is bad. And it's the one thing you can't question with Anthony Joshua, though. He's got a lot of heart. He wants to keep going. He wants to keep getting up. You cannot question that with him. But his chin's suspect for me. And his powers of recovery are very poor. Yeah. And for me, if there is a rematch, I look at it and think, well, will he try and adopt the tactics of Andy Ruiz too? But he's not going to be able to do that with Daniel Dubois, who's in shape, comes forward, doesn't let you off the hook. Andy Ruiz was different. He was out of shape, didn't want to come forward too much because, he was totally out of shape. Yeah. I don't think he's going to get away with them tactics against Daniel Dubois next time. So how he wins the fight is he's probably going to have to go to the trenches, but I don't think he'll be able to go to the trenches.
Yeah. Do you want to see a rematch?
Do I think it deserves one? No, because it was a one-sided beating.
Yeah.
But it's always one of them. Can Joshua find a way back? That's the question that everyone's asking. But I don't really want to put it on anti-Joshua. I feel like I'm doing Daniel Dubois some discredit. I think he deserves massive praise for what he did.
Well, he's improved since obviously the Miller fight, the Herchevich fight. Yeah. He's gone on and on, isn't he? And when I had my preview show with comparing maybe opponents and Joshua fought in Ngannou and Wallin and stuff like that. Yeah, you got to put that a bit more in hindsight. I'm saying now, maybe put that into perspective. But it's all well and good saying stuff in hindsight. I predicted Anthony Joshua was going to knock him out. I got that totally wrong. I admit that. So
the one thing I did say to you before, I think it was on your show, people spoke about the Ben Davison effect.
Yeah.
Nothing really was the Ben Davison effect. He fought Francis Ngannou, big puncher, but not a boxer. Okay, he done well against Tyson Fury. But Joshua, Styles mate fought again. Joshua was out, standing in front of him. He was open, planting, gone. And then he fought Otto Wallin, who, don't want to discredit him, but he's not brilliant. But he fought out of his skin against Tyson Fury, who was poor that night. Otto Wallin isn't a puncher. Joshua's able to stand in front of him. Yeah. He cannot stand in front of the likes of Daniel Dubois, who can bang and leave his chin in the air. Yeah. So Ben Davison, for me, that everyone thought, since he's been with Ben Davison, he's done really well. And he had, but I don't think it's really what Ben Davison had done.
The opponent, isn't it? Yeah. Like I said, I can go on and on about hindsight with Joshua's hunger for the sport. Is it just money motivation in with fighting nowadays? Personally, I think it probably is a lot to do with money now, rather than building any sort of legacy. He's just pure prize fighter fighting for the money. But like I said, everything's good and well saying it in hindsight with any sort of boxing predictions. And obviously, a lot of people didn't see it coming, to be honest with you. Moving on, what was the fight of the month for you as well?
Well, this was a tough one, really, because I'm going to go with Joshua and Dubois.
Yeah.
But for me, it could have been also the one we've just had this weekend, which was Sandy Ryan, Michaela May.
Yeah,
I thought that was a great fight. Great fight. But I think my biasness for me is towards, because I was at the stadium for Joshua and Dubois. And I think the drama of the way it unfolded, I think it added to the spice of the fight where, the knockdowns, Dubois planted him early, then 5 rounds later, suddenly Joshua catches Dubois, and you think Dubois is going to go, and then he found that big shot. I mean, it was only 5 rounds, but I think I will edge it to that one. But I think that another really good fight for me, like I say, was the one this weekend, which was Sandy Ryan and Michaela May.
Did you agree with did you agree with the decision on that?
Obviously, I thought it was very close.
Yeah,
I thought it was very close. I think you could have had it a little bit either way, or possibly a draw. I think it was. See, that's one where I don't look at it and go, "Oh, it was a robbery." I don't.
Yeah.
I think it was very, very close, nip and tuck on the cards.
Yeah, and Mayo obviously probably deserved to be in the right end of a scorecard, well, especially
very true.
Well, especially in New York on the top rank production as well. So maybe she's always going to be a bit biased.
Going to get that when he was close.
And what did you make of the paint throwing incident? What happened before the fight as well? So do you think that affected? I know Sandy said it in the interview after. That obviously affected her, and the trainer advised her to pull out, I think, even. So what do you make of that?
Well, I've seen actually Sandy Ryan's statement before we come on here. She's pretty much saying that the New York Police Department were telling her to leave New York for her safety, so she's home now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and they've got obtained like CCTV footage. It's just disgraceful. I mean, she's pointing in the direction, obviously, of Michaela May's team or someone she knows or whatever. I know where she's coming from with it, because it does look that way, but obviously you can't really say anything till you know the full story. But disgusting. It's not needed. It's just craziness. Absolute crazy.
When I first heard the story broke, I thought it was a joke. You hear things in boxing, bizarre things that happen in boxing. I thought, what the hell has someone done there? It was really bizarre when I first, heard the story breaking that. Someone shot a paint pot at her. So it's bizarre. But I've heard today they are going to order a rematch, I think. So
that's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do. And like you say about the paint incident, you never know. It probably did hinder a performance, playing on a mind, the mental game side of it, just not good enough. But they'll get to the bottom of what's happened. But anything's possible in this crazy world we live in.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, in boxing, the most bizarre things happen, and that was one of the most bizarre events that I've seen for a while. That could have been, that could have been acid or anything like that. You got concern for the safety of the fighters, and I thought that was really
exactly
bad.
And it's so easy the way they've done it as well.
I thought it was really bad. Yeah, done it and got away with it. It appears to be as well. So, okay. Who is your scumbag? I mean, promoter of the month, and why?
I know why you're saying that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with
from Chris Eubank Jr. in case no one picked that one up.
Well, I'm going to go with. I think there's only one man, and he's got a new heavyweight world champion, and that. Well, I say new. For me, it was the defining fight. I mean, he was already champion anyway, but he cemented his spot as IBF world champion that fight. So Frank Warren's got to be my promoter of the month. He told us again what was going to happen in the fight. He said Daniel Dubois knock him out. He was spot on, and I know he's selling the fight for his fighter anyway, but he told us all what had happened. Yeah. And you going on about the scumbag of the month. I think he deserves some credit for the way he handled Chris Eubank Jr. because later that night the apology come rolling through.
Yeah, he didn't look happy, did he? Behind him, I think.
No. It was really good to watch, actually. I mean, like I say, Frank Warren comes out and talks sport. He's suing everybody, not just Chris Eubank. He's suing all the talk sport if they mention it once more. But 2-3 hours later, the apology's in. and then
Actually,
Frank's
Darren,
apologising to him.
yeah, I was going to say we better be careful of what we say, otherwise Frank Warren may be looking on to the show and maybe putting a lawsuit against us, perhaps. I don't know.
Just don't tag him.
Yeah, I won't tag him in. So yeah, so he misses that. But yeah, that was pretty bizarre. And talking of bizarre, controversy of the month. What would you say that is?
Well, another one that I was going to actually say about like the Chris Eubank thing that he said was very controversial. But for me, I think it needs talking about the undercard of Joshua Dubois. Some of the scorecards in some of the fights for me were just like, I mean, we had the first one was Josh Kelly and Ishmael Davis. How was the scorecards so close? And then I think one of the judges had it a draw.
Yeah, was that a split decision? Was it? I can't remember. Top of my head.
Majority decision.
Majority decision. Okay.
And I was watching, and I thought, have I just watched a different fight?
Yeah.
But
I thought Kelly dominated that one personally. I didn't think.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say dominated, but it wasn't a majority decision.
Clear, yeah, on points, yeah.
Well, then we roll on to Kakachi and Warrington.
Yeah.
And then the scorecards. I actually had the scorecards here. Yeah, they had it 117, 111, 118, 110, 117, 111. That for me was a lot closer than
that. Yeah.
A lot closer.
Absolutely.
So then they went the other way. And then the other one was Buatsi and Willie Hutchinson. How the hell did a judge? I've got the scorecards here in front of me because I've written down.
Yeah.
So you got 115, 110, Buatsi.
Yeah.
117, 108, Buatsi. Probably had it a bit closer than that. But then you had 113, 112, Willie Hutchinson. But these judges should be being made account of to say, explain your score.
How do you score that? Yeah.
But what's happened? It's probably been swept under the carpet again.
Yeah, it's such a big event, and maybe the main fight took it away from them undercard fights. But you're totally right that the scoring was bizarre, to say the least.
Particularly that Buatsi fight as well. I mean, you had a knockdown in rounds 6 and 9. Buatsi knocked Hutchinson down, and then Hutchinson had a point deducted, and then the judge still give it Hutchinson by 1 round.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, he totally dominated the fight. It's just honestly like, but again, these scorecards happen too much. But over the years, it just keeps happening and happening, whereas none of them are made to explain what they saw. Yeah. How can you have such a big gap? How can you have it? 2 judges that gave it so big the one way and then the other way. I just don't.
The other way. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they had obscured vision to the ring or something. Maybe they had that big pillow in the way.
They had bloody stomach.
Yeah, is it a bit?
Perhaps had a pillar in the way.
Yeah, maybe, and they couldn't really see the full fight. Perhaps I'm not sure, but yeah, totally agree. Bizarre scoring across that. Pretty much the whole card, wasn't it? Really. So
yeah, it was really bad.
Especially them 3 fights as well. Looking forward to fights in October. What are you looking forward to, Darren? I know there's an obvious one. What's scrolling across the bottom of the screen? Is it obviously unification? These guys.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I can't wait for that fight. You know, we're going to determine who's the best out of them 2. They're both brilliant operators, so that fight's going to be quality to watch. But also on that card, you've got Wardley Clark too. Really looking forward to that. I wish it was in the UK probably, but you know, it is what it is. I accept it. It's still going to be a brilliant fight no matter what.
I think a lot of fans were the same. They're just disappointed. Such a big fight, such a good fight is not in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I say, you've just got to accept what it is, and you know, it's still going to be a great fight. Got a couple of stat card on that. Be interesting to see how Ben Whittaker gets on against Liam Cameron as well. Chris Eubank Jr. should be in a comfortable fight. And then you've also got Raven Chapman and Sky Nicholson. Nice to the women on that card as well. First women's fight.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and then there's another fan favourite fight for me at the York Hall.
Yeah, go on.
She's going to be Sam Green versus Luke. Sorry, what's his name now? I forgot his bloody name. Louis Green. And Sam Gilly versus Louis Green, the rematch at York Hall. that's going to be a great fight. The first one was a great watch. That's going to be fan friendly. So any boxing fan needs to tune in and watch that one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got the Adam Azim and O'Hara Davis card as well.
Yeah, we got quite packed October, haven't we? Really, so
very good October. It's packed, and it's nice to have the balance of a nice Saudi card with the UK ones as well.
With some good domestic fights.
Yeah, nice to see.
I was going to say, and the pricing of this with Turkey Al Sheikhs, it's going to be $14.99. This new pricing, £15 for pay-per-views. That's got to be better, isn't it?
You can't argue with that. I mean, it's a solid card as well. It's a really good card. So you can't argue with that. You know, if that's the route forward they go, then I don't think any fan can argue with that. And then we've also got the end of October, which I'm not going to lie, I'm not massive on this fight, which is Jack Catterall and Regis Prograis. Yeah. But I'm not mad on that fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. I'm a boxing fan, of course. I'll watch it, and I'm a boxing fan, and I'll also help share it on Twitter to get the fans involved and that. But it's not a massive. It's sort of like a routine Catterall unanimous decision win for me.
Yeah.
I think Prograis getting a bit.
Yeah. You know, yeah, he's a bit old in the tooth now, isn't he? Really. So, but like I said, it's great for the arena as well. It's at the new arena as well, isn't it? I think I do believe so.
I'm not quite sure on ticket sales.
Tickets, yeah.
Well, I think they're only having.
Yeah, but there were some horrible rumours going around that the first fight was delayed because of ticket sales. Like, all right, okay. So it'd be interesting to see how busy that arena is. And one last question, what Eddie threw out yesterday, I just wanted to hear your thoughts. Boxing starting main event times, 9-10 o'clock. We saw this weekend with Dixon versus Harper. The main event was done by 10 o'clock. It was brilliant for me. I think, great, off to bed now. I've had a few drinks. I'm happy. What do you think? 9-10 o'clock?
I prefer a 10 o'clock main event. I mean, the way I look at it, I've seen all the different opinions on social media about it. For me, I think some of the early card could get neglected. You know, you have a 5:30 game on a Saturday. They could also obviously work it round where you haven't got.
Okay, so you're saying it may clash with football fans going, who wants to go as well?
Yeah, not just that. Like, I think like whereas you've got like a sports audience like me, I like the football as well. You got 5:30 game on, and Eddie's on about they'll start at 6. I like to watch the whole card.
Yeah.
If I've got say, well, any like Premier League game like that's interesting me, I don't want to be able to sit in there, keep flicking over the channel, having a look, and even if I want to get fight tickets as well, it's an awkward one for me. I particularly don't like it. I prefer 10 o'clock. I think 10 o'clock.
When you say 10 o'clock, does that mean the main event starting at 10 o'clock though?
Yeah.
Rather than ring walks, introductions, 10 o'clock, and then it's like 10:15 and the fight's not even started yet.
Well, I actually put a tweet out earlier saying about like where some people are saying 9, some people are saying 10. Let's meet in the middle and go 9:30. I actually said that to Eddie. I tweeted Eddie earned that. You know, but if you say 9:30, that generally means the ring walk's 9:30. So that'd be fine with me. But I don't want to see early parts, the undercard getting neglected with empty arenas till the main event.
And viewing figures as well, isn't it?
Viewing
TV
figures,
figures. Because obviously people may tune in later. So obviously viewing figures go up and up towards the main event. I'm guessing anyway. I'm no TV analyst, but I assume that's the case. So,
well, and for me as well, each their own. I mean, like, you know, I'm okay staying up to 11, 12 o'clock on a Saturday night. It doesn't bother me. I'm not quite past it yet.
Yeah, I'm getting old, Darren. That's me.
Yeah.
I was quite happy.
I'm getting old, but I'm not feeling like I need bed at 11 o'clock yet. I'm all right I'm all right with a 10 o'clock main event. But the debate, obviously, Eddie Hearn put the poll out. The debate's there. Let's see what happens. But I hope it stays a bit later than 9. Personally.
Yeah, certainly is an interesting one, and see what happens anyway. But I'm kind of in favour of a earlier start. Maybe 9:30 is a good idea. Meet in the middle somewhere, and then you guarantee the fight to start before 10. I'm guessing anyway. So but that's it for another show. Thanks, Darren, for your time. Appreciate it. thanks everyone tuning in. Obviously, please support the channel as best you can with likes, subscriptions, and comments below. See if you agree with our views today anyway. And I appreciate your time, Darren.
Cheers, mate. Great to be on.
Thank you.